Just
What kind of chocolate? Oh, what chocolate? What kind of chocolate ice cream did you have? What what
well,
kind?
it was the like triple chocolate one that had like the dark chocolate, the
Fucking
less dark
triple
chocolate.
shits. No, no, you're done. You're done. You're you're done. Welcome to Recap Thursdays. I am Sanka, and here we
I
have somebody
I
that just
multitasking.
just
Sorry.
God damn it.
What? Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Why do we keep you? Just kidding.
Because I'm pretty. Sometimes. Yeah. Anyway, let's recap some stuff, shall we?
You set women back 40 years in both Pathfinder and in real life.
I've had a long ass day. Um. Anyway,
Last
yes.
time on on Pathfinder,
Um. Yes. So previously on Pathfinder, we have we've
Thomas.
Thomas.
Yep.
Yes. Right. We met Thomas in Riverstone. Figured out that Gun Boobies was Gwen, and
Yep.
they're gonna give us a hand and help us save the world. Um,
Woo! Saving the
yeah.
worlds.
So, heading back from Riverstone,
Uh-huh.
we've noticed that the blight in Mirren's luck has tripled, quadrupled. It's like way worse than it was when we went through it before. Um, yeah. So that's not good. That's not good at all. Um, so we get back to the fort, and right now our mission is to keep Edmund and the candidates alive. Basically, that's what we need to do. So we're like, hey, that can't be too hard. Let's go to the capital and make sure that
Well,
all is well.
okay, I'm gonna chime in here because technically the election just has to be secured. There was no talk of anybody kept being kept alive
It was
or
implicit. It was there
I'm
as an
just
undertone.
I'm just saying.
Because Thomas is saying that the taxis was going to try to delay, if not completely interfere with the election.
Yeah.
And the taxis is not the kind of dude to um take minimal measures.
But
He's
he
not.
is a
He's
man who makes marvelous souffles.
to die for.
But God, so bad.
You.
Anyway,
Anyway, so the five candidates consist of uh, Lord Commander Sir Edmund Torstone.
really? You're just gonna skip
Yes.
over? Like,
Wait, what?
just. Ah,
No,
man.
no, 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 no. This is the order of my notes. Bear with me for a
It's
second.
not the order that it happened. Okay, go.
It's the lit. I asked for the list of people at the beginning of the session, and I got them. I cannot.
Go
I can.
ahead.
I can.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, fine.
Just go ahead. Just go ahead.
We're me and Sager are having
Just do
a
it.
little issue here.
Just do it.
So, the candidates. Are you gonna stop me?
No! No,
Okay.
go for it.
So the guy. Fuck. Lord Commander Sir Edmund Torstone, Duke of Torsdown. Kira's brother. So she's like super biased in the election. Like she's totally gonna vote for him because I mean, like he's the best. We have Duke Reginald Lambin from just north of Thardoker. So he's like in the southernmost, like the southwest of the Redlands. Um, we have Baron Avid Fiegson from the central Redlands, like right in the middle. Jeff mentioned they were called the Heartlands. Maybe he just said that, but I like it. Um, and then there are two commoners as well. There's Merchant Philip Smithson from Brenzeri, which is the capital, and Mason Makes from Harvard. Calls himself a businessman.
$10 to guess what those two do.
Yeah. Well, one's a merchant and one's Mason.
One's a blacksmith because his name's Smithson, and
Yes.
one makes masons
Yep.
jars, mason jars. That's what they do.
Yes. Anyway, so while they're back in Fort Andron, um, Grim. Do you want to say this part?
Wow, you went all the way out there and then just came right back.
Well, no, because
that
we were
was weird.
talking about the election, and then we needed to secure the election. So I asked about the candidates, and that's who they were.
Right, but you know
So
what?
me,
You know what? It works. It works. It works. The party arrives back in Port Andron, and they take a bit of time to have some R&R with their favorite person in the keep, our royal bartender, Elijah.
Elijah.
And so the group's there. Everyone, Thomas, Gwen, and Rhea are joining us as we talk in a more informal setting. And Grim mentions the ring that is on Kira's finger, and him and Grim basically ropes Rokor into it because I think Rokor still cares, but he just cares that it's two people getting engaged. He doesn't particularly care that it's you, right? It could have been
Yeah, he's
anyone.
not
Like,
allowed to care.
yeah. It could have been like me and Rhea getting married, and he'd still be like happy because it's like people getting married, right? It's just
You
yeah,
guys.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like yeah, ooh, good job. Like, but so Grim pokes fun a little bit and gets a little butthurt that they weren't invited to a wedding, even though it was a private one. But
Yeah. No one
and
else was invited.
still, though, we're just not anyone. We're the ones. Come on now. God damn it, forget it. Anyway, he presents Kira with the staff that him, his father, and a bunch of people. He asked for help, and presents it to Kira as a wedding gift. Now, Wes, he goes on and says that he didn't really make this on his own, so he can't take credit for it. Um, uh, and that Wes put his feelings into it as well. So it is much a gift from uh, Grimm as it is from everyone. And
It's made with love.
it was made with love. And I'm not gonna say too much about it. I'll let the staff speak for itself the next time we have combat. And yeah, and that was it. Inside though, when Kira opens it up, is a wand with a note from Mokot. I don't know what it said. He kind of like made it up on the spot. It's like
Yeah.
take this with you, or like
It's like use this whenever you can.
yeah,
Like,
and it was
this will
just
always come handy.
unlimited detect magic, detect poison, which just is it's an ongoing joke. So we'll just
Yeah.
leave it at that. That was good.
It was very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have our festivities, have a few drinks, have a drinking contest
Mm.
until we all pass out.
It did not last long. I do not like the new the drinking
I
rolling.
don't either. My con bonus does not.
It's just,
I don't have a con, but I have like a +1.
I have one as well. Wait.
Yeah.
Yes, I have
This
one.
is what happens with charisma based.
I think you should have, like, you can roll on your highest stat. Like, Or
Yeah.
something like
But
if you're strong, you're like big and tough, right? Like if
yeah,
you're
but
a mage,
charisma can't help
you
you.
can be a classy drunk and just hide the fact of how shit-faced you are. Think about it. Think about it.
Thinking
Think
about it.
about it. There you go.
Um anyway, so we all go have a sleep. Um get healed of our hangovers in the morning if we have any. And we head to the capital to meet with the candidates, the
Hmm.
aforementioned candidates.
Yeah. So the party enters. Actually, well, they teleport right into the castle, and they are given their own private wing in the castle by Earthadar. That's his name.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of
Yep.
just use up to set up their base there for their quote investigation. Now, how Earthadar knows and how his servant or butler that he sends us to help us in our investigation knows, we have no fucking clue. Because as far as everyone else is concerned, we are just there to, or what we say, we are there to just make sure that the election goes smoothly because it is the first
Yeah.
of its kind in the Redlands, and with all the turmoil happening in the East, we don't want it to go awry. At least that's what we're telling everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
So the butler in question that is given to us to help is named Ander Falks,
Mm-hmm.
who is essential, and he's a very proper guy. Um, he would make any butler proud, I think.
Yeah,
I was gonna
for
make a
sure.
Black Butler reference, but we're not gonna go there. Yeah, and he basically gives us. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. We, I, Grim
Asks
asks.
for dirt
Yeah.
on the
Well,
candidates.
no. Grim asked Edmund first before they part ways. If Edmund can get them a meeting with each of the candidates,
Right.
get them to know a little bit each other. Edmund says he'll do what he can, and leaves. Now, this was a little bit wrong order on Jeff's part because he kind of tacked on the whole Sensual Butler and the wing afterwards. But we do meet with the first candidate quite quickly, and that is Reginald Lambin.
Yep.
Um, I'll go and describing him. So he's a middle-aged man with graying hair. He is very formal and has a military-like feel about him, and basically his platform is all about keeping the Redlands strong as a military force in the world. He feels that in this trying times what they need is a really strong leader, and he even says that Edmund is exactly that, but he is Edmund 2.0 thanks to his experience and his vast wealth of knowledge.
Edmund
But
Edmund just isn't ready.
I just
He's
apparently
just not ready.
apparently but little does Mr. Lambin know, age does not equal wisdom. So get wrecked, scrub. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
take that.
he brings up Grim gets him talking while him and Kira are seated at the banquet table that he's using for his office. Wes and Roka are doing something behind their backs, trying to pass the time. And they basically get him to keep talking, and there comes up the point about Keldar. And we find out that he's a little bit jaded against Keldar, with thanks to paying attention in history class. We remember that there was a famous Lambin that got killed. Not just got killed, he got crucified by the Kaldari in a famous war or skirmish that happened during the Revolution,
Hmm.
the fight for independence. And we find out that that Lambin was Reginald Lambin's father.
Yes.
So
Um,
he got
he got a grudge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he wants to basically uh, get Kaldar to pay repercussions for all that pain and suffering back there, taxing them heavily during their stay here, which the party they have firsthand. Kaldar is in utter ruins. Like, there is nothing more that they can give besides their last fighting force to help protect humanity's last hope in the last Legion. Um, yeah, so there's that, and we get to meet him. And do you have anything else to add? He was pretty. He had a strong platform. He looked like a very honest and sincere man, just wanting the best for his country.
But
Seem
that grudge, though,
Yeah, that grudge
that's
though.
bad news.
That is pretty bad. And so we retreat to the wing, and it is at this time that what's his name? Ander hands over basically files on the remaining candidates as well as Sir Lambin. Basically their platforms, their generic, their backgrounds, stuff like that. And Grim West takes interesting notice to this, and he goes and becomes very studious for some reason.
Yeah.
Uh, Kira joins him, obviously, and they end up going through the files and playing chess, in which Kira
I don't
sucks
want to
at.
talk about it. I don't
Just
want to talk about it.
she's horrible. And while this is going on, Grim basically has a one-on-one talk with Ender in the common room and asks if thank you for the files, but is there anything that you know extra, a bit of dirt, things that each candidate would use against each other, maybe not outright, but in their maybe under the table smear campaign. And he really says nothing. There's nothing to note except for the very private Mason makes the maker of Masons.
Now, yeah, he seems like everything's all well and good. The only problem is that they don't have enough information.
Yeah. He apparently
It's kind
runs
of
a yeah he runs a bunch of legitimate ooh, legitimate businesses all across the Redlands, and basically has a he tailors more to the higher class, um, versus the merchant Smithson, who is more like your everyday guy. He's like for the people,
hmm
blacksmith, but he tailors to the higher class. Um, and that's it. He's just a private guy. He made money, expanded his entrepreneur enterprise, and that's really all we know. So that raises a little bit of warning flags for Grim. Um, and after their conversation ends, he goes over to where Kira and Wes is and helps Kira out with well, helps her. She still fucking loses, but or she doesn't
Oh.
lose, but she knocks over the table, and oh no, we don't remember how the pieces are, honey. Oh, that's okay. Oh god.
Anyway, so it's about a week until we can meet with the next candidate.
Yeah.
Um,
So we
so that
basically
night, Grim has a thing to
has a
go to.
has a thing. Oh well, since there's so much downtime, Grim basically he's a at the end of the day, he's nobody special, and so he goes back to his roots and kind of visits the God. What is the capital of the Redlands? Why do I
Brent
not know this?
Siri.
Brenziri. God, he goes down to the streets of Brenziri and basically plays in the local taverns and kind of puts his ear to the ground, so to speak, get trying to get a feel for how the people view the election. If there's any hostility, any kind of grumblings. But overall, he finds that everyone is actually really excited about this election. It's the very first election of its kind. The only Lord Protectorate that they know has been Earthadar, so they're kind of a little nervous, especially with all the doom and gloom happening so close, or encroaching onto the Redlands. And you know how
But
rumors fly.
everyone loved Telberon.
Yeah.
He was
Um, yeah. So they're basically just super excited that they get to, you know, pick a new one, and hopefully it goes well for them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So after a few days, we go to meet with the merchant Philip Smithson. And we go and meet with him in his home. It's a lot less formal than the meeting with the Duke
Mm.
was, but yeah, still our interview we carry it out as we did with him. So we learned that he's actually the guy who makes all the red armor in Brenzeri, which is this very like iconic, gorgeous armor. You can't get it anywhere else, and no one else is really allowed to wear it except for the Redland Guard. Um, so we kind of ask him a few questions, and he believes that Brenzeri should be run by a commoner because it worked so well last time. Like Telberon was just a soldier, he was just a commoner, and he came into power after the revolution.
Viva la revolution.
Yeah, and yeah, he just thinks that it um like great leaders can be grown from commoners, and that the nobles don't really they don't really possess the kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, they don't possess the kind of compassion for other commoners, um, as a fellow commoner would. I think that's kind of what he was getting at. So then we ask him what he knows about Mason Makes, being a fellow commoner, um, and
And being in the
he
same
says,
line of work. They are in the same
yeah,
line of work.
yeah. So he calls him kind of a squirrely, like amiable guy, but something is off. Like he puts up this front, but he's not 100% trustworthy.
Which we take with a grain of salt because Smithson is a being a blacksmith. Well, okay, not stereotypes on blacksmith, but he's a man's man. Like he's
Yeah,
there, he's loud, he's rambunctious, he's very opinionated, he's drinking beer. Like he's a man's man. So anyone like say Grimm would be kind of viewed as a little prissy boy. So I mean,
yeah,
if this Mason Makes guy ends up being more of like the intellectual type, or which he sounds to be, considering that he is an entrepreneur and he expanding his business, it, Smithson would be like, "You're not a real man." You know what I'm
no,
saying? Like you don't have hair on
yeah,
your chest. You're not a real man. Like so.
yeah. So he does say that Makes believes in a strong economy, being an entrepreneur, but he kind of wants to get his friends rich off of the commoners because he does tailor to the higher class people,
Hmm.
and so he's actually willing to buy out smithies so that he can hedge in on the redstone contracts, which are exclusive to Brenzeri, and then sell them to outsiders so that they can work with redstone, and that's really not a very respectable thing to do, but it's the lucrative thing to do because redstone contracts are super expensive
Yeah.
and very exclusive. So
Yeah. Overall,
yeah,
Smithson's a really practical guy. He says that it's not right for people to envy what others have, but focus on what they make as well. He thinks that everyone is noble in their own right. Hence, he has nothing against the nobility. Um, Even throwing out the a man's home is his own castle line, which I thought was really great. Like he's a
yeah,
really down to earth guy. He doesn't want to overstretch his bounds. He doesn't like when people overstretch his bounds. He's be happy with what you have, work with it, and you'll be happy, right? Like
yeah,
he's
totally. And he
just a
comes from a good place, but we don't really think that he's Lord Protector material. Wes does throw out his opinion once we've left, that he does respect the guy and
Mm.
thinks that he should be on the council, but should not be Lord
Yeah,
Protector.
like a voice for the everyday people, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Nobility, especially if whoever goes on the throne needs to have kind of input from both how it would affect both nobility and the common folk. Um, yeah, so I we're looking for a balanced government here, but in the end, we literally have no say in this. Like we are technically just one vote, which is Kira's
Hmm.
vote. Um, yeah, and that's it. Like that's it.
Yep.
So we go back to our little private wing, and on the door to our wing is a dagger that has a note pinned to it. Um, to which, as we enter, Ander opens the door and is surprised by the dagger being pinned to the door, and he goes, "Ah, a message for you, sir." And
And the note says, "Watch your step." And there's no, like, it's not really a distinguishable handwriting. The knife has no maker's mark, so we have no idea where it came from. Um,
we asked Ander if he heard anyone or seen anyone, and he says he hasn't, which strikes us as odd because he Ander seems to have an uncanny ability to just know things.
yeah, to
Um,
just like know when people are around him and know when people are
and just know things in
around.
like in general. Like
Totally.
he's a very he kind of reminds me of a watcher
Just
kind of
way
guy.
way less
Way
creepy.
less creepy, yeah. Yeah, which he opens the door before we're even there to welcome us back, and him not being able to uh really find out. So Rokor takes the knife and asks around some guards.
Oh, now
Oh,
Wes actually, as soon as he sees the dagger, kind of becomes really uneasy and immediately starts reconsidering his feelings towards the blacksmith who we
oh yeah,
just met
that's right.
with.
Yeah.
Because
Which
he's
Grim,
the only guy who knew that we were away because we were with
yeah.
him.
Which Grim kind of tries to calm him down. So anyone can buy a knife. Doesn't necessarily have to be from a blacksmith.
Yeah.
You're right. Like he tries to calm him down, but it's not that it's not warranted. Let's just put it that way.
Mhm.
So Rokor goes and hunts around while while Grim looks at the note and examines it. They end up coming back together with actually finding nothing, but approaching the royal spy master. I didn't write her name.
Her name was Irina Metcalf.
Right. Uh,
Yeah.
and they hand over the note and the dagger to her, and she said that she would find see what she could dig up. Right, and we leave it in her very capable hands as we focus on to our task at hand.
Meanwhile,
Mm.
Wes uh, has gone to see Tyleaf. Is in the capital, um, and was it Tyleaf? Yeah, yeah, because he learns to summon his monkey.
Right.
Yeah, so Tyleaf in the
Yes.
capital, hanging out with Lorvir probably, and sees the little monkey thing that Wes has, and he goes, "You know that turns into a real monkey, right?" And Wes is like, "What?" So, yeah, so Tyleaf teaches him how to summon it, and now he's got this little monkey friend. Um,
Um.
and
Yeah.
then Kira goes to the gardens and sort of keeps her summoning juices flowing, and then they
Um.
reconvene.
Mhm.
What?
Yes. And while all that's happening, uh, Grim is thoroughly bored and basically tags
Right.
along with Rokor, who, as fate would have it, has to go pick up his sword enchantment from the great wizard Sandoval, in which Grim has boundless, limitless fun, actually tormenting. And they go at it in his tower. Uh,
Yeah.
so he finds a little bit of entertainment there.
Yeah.
Um,
And also, meanwhile, Sakura and Wes they reconvene and go to see Yanis, the archmage, the royal archmage,
mm,
to look at the status of the Eye of Ashes because we haven't seen it for a long time since it was in our possession when we purified it with the Titan's blood. So Yanis says that the eye has been under heavy guard. He's been doing meticulous research in attempt to use its powers, but nothing so far, and no one else has used it besides him. So there's not a huge update, but nothing bad has happened, which is a good thing.
yeah.
Yeah. So after a week of kind of gallivanting around, doing what we need to, we have a dinner scheduled with the Baron Avid.
Fixin.
Figson. Yes, Baron Avid Figson. So we go to dinner. It's this lovely, lovely place that we are going to.
It's a higher up. It's one of the more lavish parts of Brenziri. Similar to a hotel restaurant. We as we enter, the what is it, like a steward or like
Yeah,
the
like
kind
a
of like a
butler.
wait, yeah, waiter,
Yeah.
basically ushers us in. The every it's basically it's deserted, um, which should have been the first clue. Which thinking the restaurant closed down to reserve the whole entire place for the Baron and his special meeting with his guest, and we are led to the upstairs private room, in which the were there guards? Were there not guards? There weren't guards.
There
There
weren't
were
guards.
guards outside at the main entrance, but
Yeah.
not inside. Yeah, and the waiter opens the door, and there is a man lying.
They're not lying. He's sitting at the
No,
table,
he
but his
well
head's right
head, yeah,
down.
laying like head down on the table with a knife in his back. And or wait, no, sorry, what
No,
am I
what are you
thinking?
doing?
I'm thinking knife.
What are
I'm
you
thinking
doing?
knife because of knife, but no, he's head down, and Rokor goes over and checks to see.
No! Stop it!
Whoa! Okay,
Stop it!
you know what? Okay.
I use detect poison. We detect magic
Oh my
and
goodness.
detect poison, and the goblet has been poisoned.
I was doing your roundabout way, but okay, I guess I'm not allowed to. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I'm done. That's the last thing I have.
Anyway, Rokor goes over, checks the pulse. He's not alive. The Grim tells the waiter to stay put and not go anywhere.
Like,
Um,
put the whole place on lockdown. And
yeah,
he asked him or one of the.
he tells the waiter not to move, and then tells the guards to
Mm.
to close the whole place down. That includes kitchen staff. We ask about how many entrances the place has. There's multiple, and there's a back entrance, and we're like, well, fuck, like that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
There's it happened really recently, only a couple, half an hour. The Baron could not have been there for more than half an hour, and it looks like a couple of minutes. And that is that.
That's where we leave off.
That's where we left off.
To be
Holy
continued.
shit. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much it. So next session, we gotta revive the Baron
Yep.
and find out what happened, and probably not tried not to die.
That's a good plan.
Yeah, because I think